I'm just looking through here. When did you start to go into judging?
When did it? Well, there was, and there is, a sort of natural progression.
Yes.
From competitor through to judging. And by the mid-80s, late 80s, I was being invited to judge.
Aye.
Nowadays there's a list of judges at various levels, which is provided to the promoters of competitions. And a list of names is available to them. And that's how it happened with me. That you get the odd invitation here, there, and everywhere. Particularly some of the bigger competitions.
Yes. I never covered MSR, and I'm just apologies to the viewer, but I'm going to come back onto judging again. But a quick mention on the MSR. You played Abercairnie Highlanders and various others.
Well, it's a bit of a story. My nickname is Abercairnie Tom. And what happened was I had an arrangement of Abercairnie Highlanders. John MacDonald of Inverness's arrangement, which with a few minor adjustments from myself. And I started to play it, and I started to be quite successful with it. And there was one year, right from May right through to middle of August, every March competition I was asked to play Abercairnie Highlanders.
I was going to say.
And I'm standing at Crieff, just waiting to go forward when the chap ahead of me finished. And I hears the voice in the crowd saying, "Oh, here's bloody Abercairnie Tom coming." So the name has stuck, and Roddy MacDonald has written a jig called Abercairnie Tom.
It's a good tune.
It's not a bad tune. It's not a bad tune.
He's a good composer.
Indeed. It's in fact, he put it in London, and the other two judges twisted my arm and got me to pick it. So he played it in London.
Excellent.
A lot of years ago, but
But
that was the story to Abercairnie Tom.
And I never mentioned your son Ian and your other son Gregor, and they play. Did you teach them, or did you get other people to teach them?
Well, I would credit my father with a lot of the teaching, certainly of Ian, not so much Gregor. Gregor was maybe just a wee bit young. But I had not realised what a good instructor my father was until I saw him teaching Ian. He had the ability to make practising interesting, to pass on his enthusiasm to the player. That's a good Lewis, son. Can you play 5 of these? See if you can play 5 in the one breath. That was a good ball. Can you do 3 without stopping? And so before you know where you are, you've played for half an hour and all you've done is burnish your technique. And he had the ability to make that type of practising, the grind of practising, make it interesting. Which, with hindsight, he did for me. Right.
And you passed, of course, a lot of your knowledge on to Ian and Gregor about Pembroke and everything else.
When they were staying here, if they were playing, I would be listening to them. And if I felt that a comment was justified or necessary, then I made sure that they got the comment.
Yeah.
Some more forcibly than others. I tend to be quite proactive when somebody's playing in front of me.
Right.
And that's why I don't like to listen to them competing. Because if they know I'm in the audience, then they're playing for me, they're not playing for the judge, or they're not playing for themselves.
Right.
And I don't have the bottle for it anyway.
So just make yourself scarce.
Get on with it.
But they blow wonderful bagpipes, and they've obviously taken a lot from you via the instrument as well as the playing.
Well, yes, I think that's probably true. Strangely enough, Gregor, before he moved down south, I was teaching him Battle of Passacrief. And he says, I can remember you playing that when I was going to sleep. And when I thought back, the kid was only 3 or 4 years old.
Aye, aye.
So, you know, something must have rubbed off on them.
That's great.
And certainly, both of them have highly developed senses of hearing. Ian plays my father's bagpipe, which is a Cocoswood Henderson.
Right.
Which he bought in 1922, I think.
Right.
The police sergeant in Galston ran away with another man's wife. The first thing his wife did was sell his bagpipe.
So, well, some good came of it all after all, eh?
So he bought it for £7.50.
My goodness.
In 1922.
Aye.
A lovely pipe. And Ian has it singing.
Aye.
But like most pipers, you know, it's a piper's neurosis is the bagpipe. They all get neurotic about it.
Aye.
You know?
And now you're into teaching.
Uh-huh.
More or less full time. And
Well,
how do you go about this?
I teach 1 day a week at Merkison Castle School in Edinburgh, which is a private boarding school.
Yeah.
And I've got a number of competing pipers who come for lessons. How do I go about it? It depends. It depends what level they're at.
Okay.
I insist that every piper who comes here plays piano. Because even if they're only interested in light music, I find that if they play piano, their light music improves out of all recognition, just because they've had to think about what they're doing in a piano.
Aye.
So that's one of the things I insist on. How I go about it depends on what level they're at.
Okay.
I mean, I've got some pipers who will never be competitive pipers who come here.
Yes.
But they're all working hard, and I wouldn't have the heart to say don't come back.
And they're enjoying it too.
They get more fun out of piping than I do.
What about 2/4 marches? Do you have any set formula for tempos or anything like that? Or what's your feeling about people playing in front of you as a judge, playing 2/4 marches, and you teaching 2/4 marches? What do you think about that?
Well, if I'm judging, I would like, if I was playing in a competition, I always had the vision of the judge marching behind me. And if I can make him want to get up and march behind me, then I've succeeded in what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Thereafter, you've got the technical element of it. And it's important that it is technically clean. Either doublings or terluas or grips or whatever, they should all be there.
Yes.
It may be that if somebody's learning a 2/4 march, that they need to play it, they need to learn it fairly slowly to get the technique practiced. Thereafter, or maybe before that, I would ask them to play it in 2-bar phrases, because that's the way the tune's structured.
Aye.
And therefore, you know, that if they can identify the 2-bar phrase, then they're halfway there to making it sound musical.
So from playing yourself, from teaching and from judging, you have a fairly round view about the competitor and the player in front of you.
Well, I know what the competitor's going through to both to be there and once he's there, what he's going through to get through the tuning off.
TSpeirs and reels, a comment. How do you like them played? TSpeirs.
Well, I mean,
it's a difficult thing nowadays because
a TSpeirs should be played in such a way that it's helping to keep the dancer up in the air.
Aye.
A reel should be played in such a way that it's encouraging the dancers to dance.
Yes.
And that again is the function of the tune.
Do you like the pointed reel or the round reel, or does that depend on the tune?
Depends on the tune. My own preference would be for a phrased tune. And that we haven't mentioned pipe bands, but that would be my comment. That pipe bands don't phrase tunes.
No. Pipe band playing, I think, has destroyed much of the ethos of TSpeirs and reels.
It's Irish music they're playing, it's not Scottish music.
And that's why I'm trying to bring these facets out that we're talking about, which are meat and drink to you, but for most of the people watching this, they're maybe playing with pipe bands, so they don't understand where we're coming from with this discussion of march, the space and reels.
Every good solo piper is going to have good hands, and if he's got good hands and good technique, then he is capable of playing the tune in phrases, he's capable of cutting and dotting the tune as it should be played. Part of the problem, in my opinion, is that a lot of people who composed, G.S. McLennan immediately comes to mind, when he wrote a tune out, he didn't cut and dot it. He left the player to cut and dot it to suit themselves. And nowadays you have players going to his music and to others' music, and it's not cut and dotted, so they play it as it's written. And in my view, it was never meant to be played as it was written.
He was giving a guide to the pipers at that time.
That's right. And that was Jim Jeffrey that pointed that out to me.
That's a very valuable point to people who are sitting out there and don't have a tutor, they just have a book in front of them. They're sitting in some other part of the globe, and they might have the Donald McLean discs to help them along. That hopefully internet tuition will help things along a wee bit.
But certainly anybody that has high hopes as a solo piper needs to have the hands.
And they need a decent teacher as well.
Good instruction.
I think we'll call a halt there, Tom. It's quite a nice time just to finish up that, and thank you very much from Piper's Persuasion for your time here today, and hopefully in the decades to come people will find this interview very valuable.
Well, thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks, Tom.